Hello everyone, it's EJ. I just kind of wanted to do a rant video. I'm at lunch at work. I'm in the parking garage just because I just needed some time away from everybody and anybody. And I know if I stayed in the break room, number one, it's loud. It's a big company. I work for Apple. And number two, I didn't want anyone to sit with me. Just because I just wanted to just have some time to just really think about things, I just feel like, I don't know, maybe you feel the same, maybe you've been in the same situation, you know that you know your job and you do your best at it, and then you're told your job is going to be part-time. So do you take this? Do you stay with this position? Do you not? Do you look for another job? For me, I'm just so tired. It seems like every job I go to, especially in Texas, the last 10 years of my life in Texas, actually wasn't 10 years, but it's, from 2005 to 2015. Yeah, 2005, 2015, I lived in Texas, in Houston. Job situations were crazy. You just never knew. The oil and gas industry there was up and down, and that's the industry I was in. Jobs, you got laid off, then you find another one. I'm kind of tired of keep going back and forth looking for work, okay? And then you get told, oh, you're overqualified, you make too much money, blah, blah, blah. So then you don't get an opportunity, even though you know the job and you really want to work because you got bills. So you're willing to take a pay cut. So I left Houston, went to California, and I had a job there. And I loved it. They recognized my potential right away. They had me traveling with them like my first month there. Like I wasn't even there a month. And I was traveling with the director and the HR, the director of HR, a director of payroll. I was traveling with them, and, they really looked for my input on things based because they saw my work ethics and my experience and saw how quickly I catch on to things and how I'm very analytical and can kind of really break things down. Anyways, so I was there for a while, and then I had got married and moved to Illinois. And when I moved to Illinois, I was there for 6 months, or maybe even longer. I think it was about 6 months. And I was not able to find a job. And that was miserable because I had bills. So here I am today. So I got married in 2016. And now we're in 2018. And for 6 months out of that time, I didn't have a job. I moved back to LA in 2017. Actually, December of 2016. And took back my job. I got hired back to the job that I had left. And I was there for about 4 months, and then they had a layoff, and of course I got laid off. So here I am, no job, and I was trying to stay in California, and the jobs, again, you're overqualified, they weren't paying enough, they didn't want, it was just a lot of things, okay? And I even considered management role, even though I don't want to be responsible for employees or other things. And even at that rate, it was still making less than what I would have as an analyst. So, and I was still willing to take that. But still, I wasn't given an opportunity. Then I get a job in Texas, in Austin. This time I'm in Austin. I never really liked Austin, and I never really thought I would move to Austin. I always said I wouldn't. But then now here I am in Austin, Texas, and so I had one job, and I was miserable there. I was so miserable. I wanted another job. I was looking, and here there aren't many jobs in what I do. And if there are, it's probably 60 to 70% pay cut. Plus, I won't get an opportunity because of how much I make and my experience. I've been gone on interviews and been told, well, you might get bored of this job, so we can't, you know, you may come here and then leave. So they don't even extend an offer. Then I got this job at Apple, you know, and I took the job at Apple as a contractor because I felt like there might be an opportunity where I would get hired on full time, and I wanted to try, you know, something different. I'm so sorry. I'm in the garage and people are so loud. There's somebody on the phone. Anyway, so I took the job as a contractor, and now they offered me the job. At first, they told me they were going to hire me, right? And I was like so excited. Finally, I'll have a job. You know, I don't know like how long I was, like I didn't know the details of it. So then they told me it was part-time, and I'm like, wow, it's 20 hours a week, okay? And so I'm thinking about that, and they told me that it'll take a couple weeks so I can have time to think about it. If I wanted to decide to move forward, then it would be 20 hours a week, up to 29, but really 20 hours a week. And I see that happening because I know my work. I know my workload, and I know how quickly I go through it, even though I don't try. It's just that I do my job. You know, when you do your job, you can finish it rather quickly. So here I am, going to be part-time soon, probably when I get back, either before I leave to Italy, or when I get back from Italy. I'll have been part-time, and I'm like, I have this enormous amount of bills, and the reason why I'm talking about this, and I think I've said it in other videos, where I have a huge debt. I have a Texas-sized debt, and it's because when I went to Illinois and I was there for 6 months, I had to pay for my car. So I used my credit card to pay for my car, and then I would take from another credit card to pay for that credit card, and then I would just keep taking, and then that's how I ended up. And then when I had to move from Illinois to California, from California back to Texas, I didn't have a relo, but I was like, well, either we move to Texas or we become homeless, because no one's giving us an opportunity, or giving me an opportunity. My husband had lost his job as well, like a week after. And so we were like, what are we going to do? Well, how are we going to do this? And that job came up in Texas, and I took it, and I was like, well, just put it on my credit card and we'll move. At least we'll have a job and a roof over our head. So that was the point, right? Well, I still, I've been here a little over a year, and, you know, still struggling to get out of this debt. And so what do? I create side businesses like making jewelry, sewing, tarot reading, and I do all of those things. I've gone to craft shows. Now, the bad thing about going to craft shows and stuff like that is you pay a ton of money, especially out here in Austin. They pay, you have to pay for all kinds of different licenses. It's ridiculous. And you have to pay to be able to participate in these craft shows. And so, you know, you take a chance, and so I put it on my credit card thinking I'll make something, and I don't even make a fraction of it back. I made more money in California selling my jewelry than I do here in Austin. And so here I am in another situation, and it just seems like, I don't know, I thought I'd do this video because I don't know if it's just me, or if there's a lot of you out there that may be experiencing something similar. You know, you get a job and you're thinking, finally I'm gonna get on track, and then you get 10 steps back. Now I'm gonna go to part-time. I have no other choice, because like I said, there are no jobs in Austin, and I've applied to the ones that are, and I get that no thank you. No, and I know why, because I've been in HR, I've been in recruiting. I know that it's my background, it's my experience, it's what I make, how much I make. That's why they ask you for those reasons, so they can rule you out, and rule, you know, only pull those resumes that are not as qualified as I am. So, if that makes sense. So, I reached out to people in California that I know that might be able to get me a job, and but again, this whole, I want some stability and I'm not able to find it with these jobs. Like, what if I go to California? What if I get a job offer in California and they come up with the same darn scenario, or I get hired and then all of a sudden they're going through a change and then they have a layoff? Like what happened to me when I moved back to California, and then I ended up here in Texas. And so I've just not have good luck with jobs and having security. And then people look at my resume and they're like, well, why did you go from this job to this job to that? Well, it's because these jobs always have a layoff or some kind of dumbness. The company closes or something, right? That affects me. And because I'm the newest employee, I'm the one that's going to get it. It's going to affect me more than it is someone with seniority. And now here I am, and I know that this job is also cutting positions in the department I work in, and then bringing me part-time, reducing me to part-time. And it's just like, really, like, how much, what else do I need to go through? Like, I am just so tired of having to go from job to job, from moving from state to state. Like, when do I get that opportunity to just be, and I want to do my own business. Well, I have this YouTube channel, I have another YouTube channel, and there are things that I'm doing to try to compensate in case something happens. But when my channel isn't that big, as you can see how many subscribers I have, and the other one is I barely started it, so I barely even got any subscribers, and so I'm not making any money there. And I get people can't afford to buy readings, even though my prices are affordable. I get it, I completely understand. Like, I would like someone to read mine, but there's not one person that I can resonate with to even say, hey, how's my future? Even though I can do my own, the only problem is when you do your own, your inner, you already know what's going on, so your energy just repeats itself, and that's what comes out in the cards. So anyway, I just wanted to do this rant video because I'm just in a situation, I'm in a funk right now, I guess, and I'm trying to think of a positive outlet. I'm trying to think of something different because there are other businesses, like I said, I could start, but I don't have the money. I don't even have a credit card to even try to go that route, because those credit cards have been used. I haven't been able to make a dent in them, and so that really pretty much gets me upset. And yeah, you're probably thinking, but you're going to Italy. Yes, I am going to Italy. My husband had bought that trip on payments, which I thought was a bad idea at the time, and told him we should pay the credit cards. And although he's paid, I think, one of them, and part of it, I probably have a lot, probably over a dozen. And so I've been trying my best to try and get something going. And so I just want to know how many of you have gone through the same thing and are feeling the same way and kind of tired and not knowing what to do, because I honestly don't know what else I could do. I'm in a situation. And living in Austin, I never really, I don't like Texas, period. It's too humid for me. I don't know, not that I don't like Texas, I just don't like the weather, and there's nothing to do. And you got to pay for everything. Like I said, there's no flea market, so otherwise I'd go into a flea market and try to sell my stuff, but there are none here in Austin. So yeah, and the weather sucks. It's humid right now, and we're in October, and it looks like it's gonna rain. You think when you see this weather, you feel like, oh, I'm gonna put my boots on, put my sweater on? No, you're in shorts and a tank top, because it's so sticky out, and I honestly hate it. I feel disgusted. Like right now I want to take a shower. And I know now I'm ranting on something else, aren't I? Typical Gemini. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to me. Let me know if you've been in a similar situation. What would you do? Would you take the part-time job, or would you look at a different state? Like, I reached out to people in California. How would you handle the situation? Leave your comment below and let me know. And I appreciate you lending me your ears. Thanks.